One, two, one, two. Peace. Welcome to the campaign trail. I'm on live. Um, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, you see the breaking news. This is what they keeping us distracted from. This the real news, not the false propaganda. Demonize something, you know, rich black male. He might very well be a monster, but this is the real monstrosities going on that been going on in Palestine, in Israel. So as you can see, they just Iran launched a retaliatory strike against Israel, or not Iran actually. Iran, yeah, I gotta pardon me, because this is the distraction. This is what they've been distracting us against. So the first time that they did something like this a few weeks ago, it was kind of like telegraphed. They was letting Israel know that we were going to retaliate from against them deleting one of their top officials a month or so, a couple of months ago. But this is a different type of thing right here. And their little dome system didn't shield them and protect them like the first one did. So while we busy focusing on entertainers and athletes and so-called alleged uh, trafficking or whatever this one individual is doing, this is what's going on over here. This is going to affect everything we do. And this is one of the reasons why it's going to affect everything we do, is because Joe Biden directs U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against Iran and shoots down missiles targeting Israel. Joe Biden has directed the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against Iranian attacks, plural, and shoot down any missiles targeting Israel. So that is basically the United States of America being dragged into this war against Iran. And if you remember, anybody that was following any of my pages, we've been saying this, that America, by way of Israel, is going to go to war before the election with Iran, go to war with Iran before the election. And here we are before the election, especially when America's favorite candidate ain't looking too well. So Joe Biden, since he's apparently still the president, even though we don't know how many brain cells he's firing off of, has directed the U.S. military. Did Joe Biden really direct the U.S. military? Or is that puppet, doing what puppets do? But it says Joe Biden has directed the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against Iranian attacks and shoot down any missiles targeting Israel. The White House said on Tuesday, today, after Tehran launched a wave of ballistic missiles against Israel in retaliation for, what we know has been going on. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said that the missile attack was conducted in retaliation for Israel's deleting, or, the Hamas leader, Ismail Haniyeh, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, and Iranian Revolutionary Guard Deputy Commander Abbas, I don't know how to pronounce that. U.S. destroyers, warships in the eastern Mediterranean Sea destroyed several Iranian missiles, U.S. defense officials said. This is U.S. business now. U.S. is all in a mix. Vessels currently in the region include the USS Burt, USS Cole, and USS Oakley. Additional destroyers, warships are also in the Red Sea. The White House National Security Council said that Biden and Kamala Harris were monitoring the Iranian attack on Israel from the White House Situation Room and were receiving regular updates from their national security team. Because they don't know nothing about warfare, right? Biden and Harris don't know nothing about military science and warfare, right? It's their national security team that's telling them what to say and what to do. They don't know nothing. They don't got no history about no warfare, right? Biden's national security advisor. So who's advising who? Is Biden the president? Why is Biden the president if he have to have somebody to tell him what to do because he don't know nothing about it? He don't know how none of that works, along with Harris or anybody or what's his name, Trump. Are these military generals? Are these people that have careers in military science and war experience? Absolutely not. So who works for who? Who's working for who? Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, hailed the response to the attack in a press conference as defeated and ineffective. So anybody knows when you fighting and somebody come out and smile and say that didn't hurt, it was ineffective. That means it was absolutely effective. So we know that's all just public propaganda and what you're supposed to say when you know you got rocked. But before the missile barrage had even ended, Donald Trump took to his own social media platform, Truth Social, to describe the current conflict in the Middle East as, quote, totally preventable. This would have never happened if I was the president, is basically what he's saying. Right? So let me know. Do you think Diddy is the subject that we need to be focusing on at this point? Or was this the subject that they was distracting us from focusing on by flooding us with Diddy and black deviants, actual deviants, so-called allegations and victims? Which ones is really doing the most monstrosities, the most crimes against humanity and innocent children and women, elders? Which one is really doing it? Have y'all been on Twitter X? Have y'all looked at the images and the videos, the details of those crimes that's being done in our name, and we using our military and tax dollars and budgets to go fund that while they making us focus on Diddy and whoever else, Chris Brown? I think Chris Brown is, they done brought him up in some stuff now. This is your people. This is y'all people. This is y'all mans in them, y'all women's in them that y'all voting for, that y'all believe in. It's the system y'all believe in. Right? This is bringing everybody into it because as Russia is dealing with Ukraine, Russia is also backing up Iran. Russia is backing up Iran. So Russia is going to get Iran's back as America is getting Israel's back. So that's how it's going down. So that's going to bring all of them into it. Of course, it's going to bring Europe and the United Nations, NATO, all of that into it. While at home, we dealing with immigration BS and a flood of convicts and criminals within our borders. That's basically sleeper cells that's going to get activated and do whatever they do as soon as they see the law enforcement get too lax over here. And then the port strike. Are y'all aware of the port strike? The longshoremen workers, they're striking now. So whatever we relying on as far as groceries and food and, anything that goes into stores, that's about to be on a big halt. All of this before the elections. But we focusing on Diddy. Diddy. No Diddy. You know what I'm saying? What about these guys? What about Bibi? What about no Bibi? Netanyahu? What about no Biden? What about no Biden? What about no Harris? What about no Trump? But You know, who controls the media? Who's force feeding all these images and these same stories back to back over and over, programming us, flooding us, bombarding us? Who is behind the media? Because now they're gonna spin this. Yeah, they're gonna have a big thing that makes it look like, in my view, my opinion, my assessment, it's gonna make it look like they always do, that like Israel is the victim. So now Israel has to retaliate to protect its existence in the region. Well, how did it come into existence in the region in the first place? It was through the UN, right? It was through European nations. It wasn't through no agreement with original indigenous dark people, you know, the original Hebrews or Jews or whatever. So this is all before the election. And what good is an election when it's war? Because whoever is behind these candidates, or the candidates that they're behind, it's always the war hawks. It's always their best interest to keep war going, to have war going, because war emotionally distracts everybody. War panics everybody. War, you know, drains the treasury and said, we need billions more for this. We need billions more for this. We need $1 trillion more budget for this. Y'all don't remember? Are y'all old enough? Are we old enough? How many times we done seen this? And it's different now because it's a woman that's running for president, a so-called black woman. Well, we seen this with Obama. We seen this with everybody before him. We seen this with Bill Clinton, when Bill Clinton was supposed to be the first black president with the sunglasses and playing the saxophone and doing his cigar thing. You know what I'm saying, with old girl, Monica Lewinsky. We seen this before, right? But we focusing on Diddy. We focusing on Diddy, and we're not even focusing on the Palestinian victims, the 30,000 or more, 30,000 women and children that they have deleted. Man, y'all need to, I don't even like Twitter or X because it's like no censorship damn near whatsoever. It's all kind of raunchy, you know, pornography stuff on there. But if you could sift through that and look at the actual images, look at the actual articles that make it up on Twitter, that make it up on X, that you will never see on CNN, you'll never see on ABC or NBC or CBS, you'll never see it on no mainstream news media, but you see it on Twitter. And it's images like that and videos and stories like that that caused the end of the Vietnam War back in the 70s. Because once certain journalists started recording and sending back images and sending back videos and pictures of the atrocities that was being committed by Americans, by the so-called good guys, like we seen that was being committed by, you know, the Israeli army, then it's gonna lead the whole world to become outraged and pull back and protest. And you see big protests, millions of people in different countries protesting against this specific country. That's what's going on right now. That's why they flooding us with Diddy. They want us to be outraged against some black man. They want us to be outraged against some black man, some black entertainer, man, that adults or young adults, females or whatever, agreed to go party with. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know. And whatever he's a monster about, okay, he's a monster. He's just one individual. Why are we seeing him every day instead of seeing the real monstrosities, the 30,000, you know, deleted innocent women and children to this point, or the 30,000 convicted body men and SA convicted felons from other countries that this administration is allowing into our country to roam among us, to do their thing among us. 30,000 little ditties just this year, you know what I'm saying? Or worse, you know, 30,000 anonymous migrant, immigrant ditties that this administration allowed into our borders. That's ghosts. We don't know who they are, what they look like. Ain't no way that we can identify them until they victimize us. But you know, this administration is tracking them. 425,000 of them, 600,000 altogether, I guess, as of this year. But out of the 600 some thousand, 425,000 of them are convicted of crimes, and 13,000 of those crimes, over 13,000 of them crimes, of bodies. Thank you, Kenneth. I see your cash app. Thank you for the cash app, Kenneth. 13,000 of them convictions, not alleged, accused, charged, convicted of bodies from other countries that's here now among us, that they're using to go head up against our descendant of slaves that never got reparations, that's fighting for our own justice, fighting for the crumbs that fall off of these administration's table. And now these gangs is going against these gangs, like these immigrant body men is going against the little hitters in Chicago or New York or LA or Ohio, Colorado. But we got to focus on Diddy. No Diddy. No Diddy, right? Yeah. So this is terrible, man. You know, so they're going to constantly promote this like this is, you know, the worst thing that ever happened. But like I said, if they saying that it was ineffective and it's defeated, that's a lie. That's the opposite. 100% Biden and Harris now, like it or not, have been dragged into this. Harris don't know what to do about this. If you think Harris was doing soft interviews and avoiding the press before, because as far as I know, she just did all the smoke. You know, she ain't doing no serious interviews with no real journalists. She doing interviews with ex-basketball dudes that smoke weed. Are they asking her about this kind of stuff? Are they asking her about any of these real issues that I just brought up? I didn't watch it, but I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. Pretty sure you ain't talking about the multi-billions of dollars that should have went toward the descendants of slaves. You know, the ones that you said you ain't gonna do nothing just to benefit them. So we going on all these soft targets, softball interviews, but this ain't softball, business right here. This is going to affect us directly, immediately. Any of us that's into the stock market or that's into housing or real estate, this is going to affect us immediately. If you got any business, this is going to affect us immediately. Because you see what I posted. Biden directs U.S. military to aid Israel's defense. And you've seen if I should have posted that up, you've seen what Harris has been promising to AIPAC and the Israeli Defense Force and all of that since she's been the vice president. We pledged $38 billion in aid to Israel for the Iron Dome and David Sling and such and such. You know, I remember all the names. But then she was asked, do you support reparations for black people? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, but I'm going to give $38 billion right now that's only going to benefit Israel. That's a state specifically identified according to their ethnicity. Right? Ain't that a Jewish state? That's not just a human being state. That wasn't established just for human beings. That was established for a specific ethnicity, right? Ashkenazi, European, Jewish people that was victims of Hitler because he identified them according to their race and ethnicity as as his enemy or as the problem in Germany. That's what he did, right? He identified them as that. So they've been identified as that in their cry for reparations or for their own separate state and territory and protection. And they're invoking the biblical prophecy. They invoking their identity according to the Bible. So is that really their identity? Right? Is Diddy the original Hebrews, or are they the original Hebrews? Like, what I'm saying? We can say they both are monsters. They've both done some monster business, right? That shouldn't be forgiven. Why does one have a whole separate state and territory that they can call their own, that they can make sure that the superpowers of the world back them up, and the other one gets crucified, in the media every chance they get? The ones that, that seem to me that we can prove are the real, fulfillers of 400 years in slavery in a strange land, being brought overseas among a strange people afflicted. We get castigated or castrated or whatever in the media. We get our whole identity, our whole image just totally wiped out. Man. Yeah, so it ain't no I believe eventually the war is going to come to America. I mean, what war? That's a good concept. Let's look at that concept. I-7, Jack. I believe eventually the war is going to come to America. What is the war? Right? Because if you are a descendant of slaves of America, we always been in the war. We were always under the attack from the enemy. So what war are you talking about? You know what I mean? This is just something that everybody else is going to have to suffer and be engulfed in because of what was done to us. This is nothing to us. This is nothing to the descendant of slaves and the Native American, Native Indigenous, or the Moors, or whatever we call them. This is what happened to us. This is why we not ruling our indigenous lands no more, because of this. So if you know anything about prophecy, or you know anything about the NOI teachings, like, no bombs, no nuclear bombs or whatever is prophesied to be dropped on America. God, the true and living God in person, Master Father Muhammad, told Elijah Muhammad that America is a preserved area. He's not going to allow nobody to destroy America but himself. What he's going to do to America and is going to be unmatched. He's not going to allow no outside forces or outside countries to nuke America. He's going to do something to America of the most biblical proportion, which is turn America into the lake of fire. The prophesied lake of fire, that's not something that happens after you die. The lake of fire is an actual physical phenomenon, and it's not a lake. It's 2,000 miles by 3,000 miles of this country of North America that has held his people as chattel slaves for 390 years. He said that he is going to light the atmosphere of America on fire from the sea level all the way to 12 miles high. He's going to light all of American atmosphere, the atoms and molecules of America, on fire, and it's going to burn for 390 years. And it's going to take 610 years to cool off. So it'll be a total 1,000 years before human beings will be able to walk foot on this part of the world or this country ever again. So that's something that, our hearts can't even take seeing what he gonna do. And it's going to be done by, Before that, it's some other stuff that our hearts ain't gonna be able to take. That's gonna be done by these UFOs. It's gonna be done by these so-called alien craft, these UAP UFOs. So all of this that's being allowed is because he said that he's going to let nations, start going to war against nations and all of this, famine and pestilence. But ultimately, it's to weaken them, to allow them to start canceling each other out like they have made us to cancel each other out for so many centuries. So the same tactics and war book strategies that they practice on the Native Americans and the indigenous and the Africans and the righteous is being practiced on them. The reason why they can't find peace among each other is because they're being manipulated. Their minds are being manipulated by this man, by this living God, human being, Master Fard Muhammad. The God of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the God of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the God of the Nation of Islam, the true and living God of everybody, whether you believe it, accept it, understand it, or not. So that's what's behind this. The nations is going to be angrier and angrier. The nations is going to clash against nation, war and more war and rumors of war because he got their minds. Allah, the God, has their minds in derision, in confusion, in chaos against each other. That's why Satans are casting out Satans. They used to be in unity in cahoots. They used to have a code, a so-called Freemason, Shriner, secret society code that kept them successful. That kept them ruling the darker people of the world for the past 4,000 years. But that time is over with now. That secret is out. The grace is up. Farrakhan is the man, the watchman. Farrakhan is the Messiah among us. He is the man that they know is connected directly to this God and directly to these wheels and UFOs and directly to these powers of the human being that they call magic or voodoo or supernatural or superhero or all of that. So take it or leave it. This is not for you to believe. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like it. You can unfollow. You can do whatever you want, but you will not be able to avert or avoid or prove what I'm saying to you to be false, because you're going to run into every single word of it. And it's going to be proven true, and you won't be able to say that I didn't hear that, I didn't understand that. No, I was never warned, I was never informed. This is what it is. But they're going to flood you with Diddy, though. They're going to flood you with more entertainment. They're going to flood you with more Billboard, top of the Billboard charts. This female rapper is the hottest thing since sliced bread, or this entertainment such and such, or Taylor Swift. They're going to keep flooding our dumb asses with entertainment or scandal. They're not going to flood you with the Armageddon information so you can prepare to survive. They're not going to flood you with the knowledge of the collapsing U.S. dollar and how it's worthless, and how if you ain't hurrying up and converting that into land or gold or silver, then that's your ass. Then, at least Brother Cam is letting you know. You know what I'm saying? But we don't listen to Brother Cam and I'm Muslim because y'all make our heads hurt. It's always, war. It's always hate. Y'all always talking about hate. Okay, what do you call this? This is love? What are these fiery little things falling from the sky? Is this love and unity and world peace? This is who y'all worship, and this is who y'all follow. This is what y'all believe in. This is the process y'all believe in. This is what voting gets you. This is what voting gets you right here. these fiery things falling from the sky is what you believe in, right? We don't got none of that. We don't have that in our history in the Nation of Islam. We only got bloodshed against other people, other Muslims. But you know, Diddy is a monster, and now Chris Brown is a monster. Man, so good luck. We didn't learn. Obviously, we didn't learn from this recent pandemic. We didn't learn what's about to happen. We didn't learn that we're supposed to not go back to the same partying and the same irresponsible, reckless, foolish behavior. We couldn't wait for the pandemic to be over. We couldn't wait to get back outside. We outside. Outside doing what? Outside doing what with your life? Well, this type of stuff is coming to America, but it ain't gonna be destroyed by it ain't gonna be no nukes. It ain't gonna be destroyed by no outside forces. It's gonna be inside forces. America is gonna tear America up. Americans going against other so-called Americans is what's gonna tear America up. And then the outside people from outside is gonna see the weakness and the unrest and the revolution going on inside of America, and then they're going to take their bites out of America also. But this camp right here of Kamala Harris's husband, your ski-wee sister girl that you love, that you voting for, that y'all getting all emotional and upset because she's a black woman, and we ain't black if we don't vote for Joe Biden, or we ain't black or real if we don't vote for her. Well, her husband is her boss, according to the faith and the religion that she married into. Her husband is her head, even though she, for whatever reason, ain't wearing his name. Not to us. I guess that don't make her look strong and independent to the sisterhood. It make her look strong and independent. She keeping her own, so I guess black name, black names. That's not your name. Your name is Imhoff, a Jewish name, Kamala Imhoff. And your husband, according to Jewish faith and law, is your head and your boss. He runs America. He's the vice president, ultimately. Am I lying? Am I saying something wrong? Am I saying something inaccurate? Because this whole thing is supposed to be about religious faith. They're called Jewish people because of their claim to, Judaism and the religious faith. So if she chooses to marry into that rule, to that law, to that code, that means she's submitting and declaring that I believe in this same code. And of course, I don't care what y'all political voters think this is, but I know what it is because I married and had a Jewish wedding. And we yelled Mazel Tov. Even though I'm from wherever she's from, she said, I married a Jewish man and we had a Jewish wedding and we said Mazel Tov. And according to Jewish law, he's my boss. He's my head, according to the Torah, the Old Testament. Am I saying anything incorrect? I don't care where she came from. What she agreed to do in becoming a wife of a Jewish Israeli dual citizen, that means she falls under his law, his faith, his belief. Did y'all know that? He can act like undercover boss all he want. He can act like a little beta male all he want. That's how they get in. They not no beta males. These is undercover bosses. They be acting like they're the secretary of this and secretary, just so they can be in the vicinity of the presidential seat. No, they there to be up over, in the background over your shoulder, making sure you do what the hell we tell you to do. That's what they there for. You're gonna see them switch all kind of positions. First 4 years, they're gonna be chief of staff, then the secretary of state, and then on the treasury, and then they're gonna be over here in some private corporation for a few years, and they back in the White House for some other position. Yeah, Y'all don't know how this go. The real hitters, the real bosses, don't sit in the seat of the presidency. They put people in the seat of the presidency. And they take you out the seat of the presidency if you ain't doing, you ain't dancing to their tune. But keep voting, vote or die. You know what I'm saying? Push them peas, Taraji. Get out of them streets. Be out of them streets. Be outside in them streets. Your body, your choice, sister girls. But this what y'all gonna run into right here. Because this part is coming to America. This part, speaking of coming to America, rest in peace. May God be pleased with John Amos, the father on Coming to America, but we know him as the father of Black America. Before there was ever a Cliff Huxtable, there was James Evans, John Amos. May Allah be pleased. Man, we all know, boy, those of us that didn't have a father, or those of us that did have a father, he was the closest thing to a real Black father we ever seen on TV. Cliff Huxtable was not no reality. James Evans was the reality. If we had a father that was always upset and mad and grouchy and dealing with, the Black man of America issues, it was John Amos on Good Times. So may Allah be pleased with Brother John Amos, and condolences to his family and friends and loved ones. But he was like, damn near my father, like, you know what I'm saying? Father that we ain't really have in the projects, dealing with it. But yeah, Coming to America though, that's it. And rest in peace to Esther Roll too, because Esther Roll, that played Florida, played his wife. She rode for him. She rode in Hollywood against these small hats that wanted to portray the Black family as a broken thing, single mother, or some buffoons. They wanted everybody to be like JJ on some buffoonery, and she rode for that image, that balanced nuclear family. So may Allah be pleased with Esther Roll as well. Yeah. But man, I'm telling you though, this is where we at. This is where we at. Is Diddy that important? Are y'all not tired of hearing Diddy? Or do y'all want to hear more about Diddy? Y'all want to hear more from these alleged victims of Diddy? Because now it's apparently it's supposed to be like 100 more all of a sudden. And Feinstein, what's the white lady that Steinstein? What's the Steen? Diane Feinstein. You know what camp she from, right? So now she always the one bringing up finding 100 new victims and all of this. All for what? So we can be outraged at the Black man instead of outraged at this, outraged at the other men that got 30,000 innocent women and children bodies under their belt this year alone. But we supposed to be outraged and focusing on Diddy, right? We supposed to be looking for Jay-Z next, right? We supposed to be back on Chris Brown. Why is all of this outrage pointed towards Black women's emotions? Why are they trying to put this emotional outrage, anger, hatred, battery in Black women's back against Black males? Why do y'all think that is? And then, of course, Black males now, like myself or like Kevin Samuels, that got a voice or got microphone, then that's designed to make us retaliate, against, what our sisters is falling for. So now we gender war, Black gender war, video podcast, gender warring against each other, while they can continue to get away with this and continue to get away with that, continue to set us all up for the slizz. But ultimately, who are you going to have to listen to? If we're Black, if we're descendants of slaves, who is our authority? Who are we going to have to listen to and follow and submit to? Because it ain't these people. It ain't these people that we see doing this mass deletions and this warfare, these warmongers. We supposed to be so tough and independent, so woke, but we running to vote for this. We're running to go vote for this right here. This is making America great, right? This is a new vision, new way. This is we made it. We made it, Joe, right? Because this is under their administration. We got to call it what it is. This is under their administration. This immigration BS is under their administration. This whole Fauci juice fiasco, all of that was under their administration, right? Am I lying? Am I saying something incorrect? So this is the time for division. Like Jesus said, don't think that I came to the earth or came to the world to bring peace on earth. No, I came to bring division. I came to bring a sword. This is division time. It's unity time with people of like minds and like spirits, people that want freedom, justice, equality, truth, righteousness. It's unity time for them. It's time for them to get together. It's not time for us to get together with, with these people. This is division. This is separation time. This is pick a side and you just be united with that side that you chose. Everybody is not going to be together, right? Jesus' disciples was with him up into a point, and then Judas chose what he chose. The coward, once it was hot like this and Jesus was on the cross, the niggas punked out. So you ain't gonna know who's really who until it get hot, right? That's why wise people make it hot. I make it hot before it get hot. I'm gonna put a ring of fire around me and mine just so I know who you are. Because if you really ain't with it, then I'm gonna see it early. I'm not gonna have people around me because I make them feel good. No, I'm not gonna have people around me like that. I'm gonna have people around me that recognize righteous, uncomfortable, painful principles and see the value in it and is willing to endure the pain and the discomfort and the loss because they see what we see and they know that it ain't no free ride. Ain't no escaping it. They run to the pain and hurry up and get it to it so they can get through it. Instead of people that's constantly trying to avoid it. Well, I don't want no conflict. I don't want, this kind of relationship because it don't serve me. And this brings out the worst in me. This person brought out the shut up. Yeah, you stay over there with the voters. You stay over there with the American voters then. Because this real warfare over here. This real warfare. This is real heat, fire, pressure, time. This is where diamonds is made over here. I don't know, you cubic zirconians, glass or something. I don't know what you are. We can buy you at Walgreens and shit right there on the counter. Nah, what this over here is in the hellfire. Like I'm looking for those like minds that saw the value of being in hell as products of hell and know that they value themselves. They stripes, they stars and bars is because of the hell that they choose to suffer from, the fire that they choose to walk into with gasoline draws on. Care nothing about y'all soft comfort, luxury, ball and woke, boss, whatever. Like, yeah, you stay over there with the voters. Y'all stay over there with the voters because it's gonna come to an urban clash. Also, it's gonna come to, when that zaddy, that rainbow or small hat zaddy pull that carpet up from under y'all feet, and then you're gonna be looking to these real street flocker, gang bang, male, whatever that you said was no good. You're gonna be looking to us as for security. Nah, it's too late for that. So you better stick with the snakes that you did to deal with that you believe in, if that's the page you own. If not, you better hurry up and get your ass over here with your real men and stop acting like you better than them. Stop acting like these unrealistic standards, like you ain't more of a monster than we are. We're y'all gang banging, y'all this and y'all diddy this and that. Oh, okay, well, it's 30 million abortions since 1973. I'm born in 1969. It's 30 million abortions by Black women of America alone. We could have had a whole nother nation. We could have been, what is 50 million of us? It could have been 80 million of us. We could have been the majority voter block. We could have been the majority, industrial man. So anyway, I don't even want to get back into that. But yeah, all of this is what they've been distracting us away from. And they still gonna spin it because they control the media, they control the narrative. You're gonna only hear this from people like me on Twitter or on, people, maybe on YouTube until they shut it down. This is my opinion. This is not the opinion of nobody else. This is not the views and the opinions or the positions of Digital Soapbox Network or Digital Soapbox Media or of Minister Farrakhan or the Nation of Islam. This is Brother Cam's personal position, personal viewpoint assessment that can be 100% flawed or incorrect. I'll take full personal accountability for what I'm saying. This is not nothing that I was scripted or coached or told to say, or, this is strictly my limited understanding or lack of understanding. This is my personal viewpoint. So let me say that as a disclaimer, a pre-claimer, a post-claimer, strictly my personal viewpoint. But, October starting off with a bang, right? First of the month, the 10th month, knowing that next month is the so-called elections, knowing that they got to kick it off before the elections. Who knew that they had to antagonize? They had to go try to, they did actually delete 3 different leaders of the Muslim world in the name of retaliation for October 7th of last year. Do y'all know what date October 7th is? Because we're coming up on the anniversary of that, right? October 7th, the reason why Minister Farrakhan and others knew that this was it, because October 7th is the birth anniversary of the Messiah, of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Was born on October 7th, 1897. So these Satans over there, Bibi Netanyahu and all them, they know that. They knew that they would allow and orchestrate and devise this little war plot and allow this so-called attack to happen specifically. They knew they had stand down orders from what we read already. They was going to kick it off on the Messiah's birthday. And even though they claim to be followers of the Talmud, they know that their main man that they leave a seat for during their holy Yom Kippur or whatever that is Elijah. Elijah is their man. They know Elijah is the real Messiah. They know Elijah is the one on the wheel. So this was a blatant message from Satan, knowing that, what was the response, what that was going to be, but also knowing and acknowledging that we going to take as many of your people out before you take us out. Real Elijah, the real Mahdi, real owner of the Ezekiel's wheel and the chariot. So that was their communication against us. This is the connection. This is how warriors communicate. Spoken, unspoken, understandings and communications. So by the 6 more days from now, by the anniversary of this October 7th Israelis alleged, attack, whatever, watch what happens. Watch what happens within the next 6 days. Watch what happens within the next 6 days, because, they plan, and Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners. They plan for an anniversary demonstration of October 7th, Elijah Muhammad's birthday, and what has been going on and how many lives have been taken since then, based on that date. And they planned something else for this coming October 7th. But let's see what Elijah, the actual Messiah, whose date of birth anniversary that is, let's see what Elijah's response is. Let's see what Elijah. So just keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. I would dare say watch the weather. Watch the weather between now and then. Watch whatever natural calamities and disasters, and also keep your eyes out for so-called UFO activity. So-called UFO activity. But let's see. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But are you going to hear this on mainstream media? Are you going to hear what you're hearing right now from any other rappers? Are you going to hear this from any other rappers, any of my rap peers? Because my rap peers, especially the ones on the West Coast, they're aware of this. Why you ain't hearing nothing from them? You worship them. Y'all feel like they're the successful ones. Those are the ones that Brother Cam is bitter of and, always talking about. Well, let's see. Keep watching. Let's keep listening. Let's see what they do for you as the days go on. Let's see the guidance you get from my rap peers. Let's see the guidance you get. Let's see the wise, powerful war guidance and military testicular fortitude information that you get from them, compared to what your brother Cam is going to give you or have been giving you by Allah's permission. So let's see. I'm anxious to see, because we ain't even heard nothing from them about Diddy. Ain't even heard nothing from them about Diddy, let alone about the real enemy in the war shit that we seeing right now with Israel and Palestine and Iran and Russia, China, Europe. Like, you ain't even heard nothing from them about Diddy. Oh man. Yeah. Harris 2820, right? Not even a peep from DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled. We the best. God did. Okay, what is God did in with this? What does God got to say about this? Because we damn sure hearing what Farrakhan say, what God say about the war in the Middle East and the unraveling of the nation and the criterion and all the most controversial things that you say that we haters about. Man, just imagine if Farrakhan and these Muslims is correct. Just imagine all the things that you accuse Farrakhan and Elijah of and the Nation of Islam of, and whatever you say the punishment should be for what you say we're guilty of. Just imagine if all of that is false. So everything that you said that Farrakhan and Elijah and the nation should suffer as a punishment, who should that happen to? If you was the one accusing and opposing and rebelling and making our work hard, who should that punishment hit if it ain't us? And you was accusing us of being liars and false and haters and all that. Who should it hit? Who is it gonna hit? Boy, just imagine. Just imagine. Yeah. But we supposed to focus on Diddy. But Diddy is the problem. Diddy is the problem. Do you see how much TMZ be on top of Diddy? Do you see how much CNN and all these mainstream medias be on top of this Diddy stuff? You would think Diddy was Hitler. You would think Diddy was King Leopold. You would think Diddy is, I'm trying to think, what's his name? Jeffrey Dahmers. You would think Diddy was the Unabomber. But notice all them people I compared him to, what they ethnicity or racial identification is. But they making sure we outraged at this one black man, right? Even if he's guilty of all of that, okay, just let him suffer what he's supposed to suffer. Why we got to keep hearing about it? Why we got to keep hearing about it? Why we got to keep hearing from his so-called victims, his alleged victims? Why do we have to keep hearing about it, but we not hearing about this? TMZ is the CIA. That's what it really should be. CIA. What's the dude? Levine, Harvey, something like that. What's his ethnicity? What is Levin? He's a lawyer too, right? Told you about the Devil's Advocate movie and the number one profession of Satan: lawyers and judges. Lawyers and judges. According to the movie, you know what I'm saying? According to the movie, you know how we love to use movies as gospel. According to the movie by Al Pacino, with Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves, The Devil's Advocate, the number one profession for Satan is lawyers. Lawyers become judges. Judges become politicians or senators or governors or presidents. Right? So Keith McCulley, they trying to make an example out of Diddy. I mean, they are making an example out of him, but it's about us making an example out of Satan. That's why we're supposed to do something different. Otherwise, it's insanity, right? We doing the same thing, just watching them crucify another ninja, another ninja crucified, and we just doing the same thing. No, let's us do something different. When we see them crucify one of ours, then do the same thing to one of theirs. Use your voice and your media to do the same thing to theirs. Focus on what's the dude's name? Lucian Grange. Focus on Clive Davis. Focus on Disney. Focus on Warner Brothers. Focus on somebody that you know was doing that. Epstein, Weinstein, Berg, whoever. They do one of ours, we do one of theirs. I'm not saying that what dude is innocent, but they're flooding us. They're flooding our minds and eyes and ears and our children's minds and ears with the image of black males as monsters again. Remember how they was doing us in the 80s with gang banging and crack? We're the monsters, right? Not the Sandinistas, not Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan, the ones that's flooding us with the drugs, not the Contra Rebel, the stuff, the whole thing that they flooded us with crack cocaine for. No, Freeway Rick was the monster, right? The little black males that was making money for the first time in their life, those are the monsters, right? No, the little smokers and the strawberries, those are the monsters, right? That's what they use their media for, to demonize us. So now that we got a voice and we this age and we know that this is how they got down, we got the luxury of hindsight being 2020. Why is our mouth closed? Why all these tough ass gangster rappers have got their mouth closed now? You was just running your mouth about Trump. You was just making rap records against Trump. Nigga, you don't even gotta make a record. Get on in. Niggas be on Bill Maher and all this doing it. Like, nigga ain't saying nothing. Get out here and say something controversial like you used to do when you was in your 20s. Why they ain't doing it? But they your heroes. They your idols. Oh, you hater, Cam. You bitter. Nigga. I don't respect punks. You do. I don't respect punks. You do. I respect art. Like, okay, you might make some good rap songs and might have a nice beat or whatever, but you a punk, nigga. I don't care about that. Care about no punks. Y'all care about punks. Y'all worship punks. Y'all love punks. That's why all this rainbow stuff, all this sensitive male shit, like, y'all love that. Y'all support that. I don't. And I don't mind living and dying and shit on that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to die as an individual anyway. Like I said, rest in peace, John Amos. Even though, Lord have mercy, he had a opposite wife and had children with her, but at least the image that he promoted made me feel like he was my daddy, like he understood the struggle. He was mad and upset about, the man, and had a little militant midget son, and what he chose to do in his real private life, Lord, that's but at least that image made me turn me up, you know what I'm saying? Made me feel like good about being a strong black heterosexual man standing on my testicles. So I'm gonna be, he gave birth, that image to help give birth to people that really believe that. That's why our generation of cowards and actors and punk fake gangster rappers produced a generation of real gangsters, real little hitters and sliders. That's why we scared to death of these youth. That's why, man, if they want, this the kind of music they want, so this the kind of music we make. Shut up, punk. No, you're supposed to make the kind of music that they need to hear. You're supposed to lead them. They don't lead you. So thankfully, James Evans and people like that made me think that's how you really supposed to live. So I really lived like that. I really became that kind of little James Evans son because I thought that was real. I just found out recently, maybe the last few years, that he had a white wife and white, interracial children and all that. Oh, okay. I'm glad I didn't know it back then. But Cam ain't gonna have one. See what I'm saying? Whatever image that he helped me, stand on my black testicles, made sure I ain't got one. I don't got no white wife. No disrespect to nobody that do. But I'm standing on mine. My wife, is blackity black. With kitchen, with kinks on her back of her neck. Kinks. You know what I'm saying? So but it's so much I can go into, and I'm gonna go into that since it's wartime, right? And since so many of our people is quiet, we run our mouth on all this tough money. I got money, I got hoes, I done slapped the nigga, I done gang bang, kill, dope deal, and all this. Nigga ain't got nothing to say about when real war kick off. Ain't got nothing to say about real policies of immigrants that really got bodies like you was rapping about, that's really living among our people that's struggling while you in the hills behind some gates. You don't feel what we feel. You don't represent us. Yeah, I'm not financially rich. I'm not financially wealthy. You don't represent me. If y'all don't mind, man, subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell. Yeah, while we here, what I'm saying, may as well go to westcoastcam.com, and stock up on some of this ionic colloidal silver, because we're gonna need that. We're gonna absolutely need that. westcoastcam.com, and you can go in there and see what that's all about. Anybody that knows about the strongest natural antiviral, antibiotic, antimicrobial, antipathogen before there was a such thing as pharmaceutical industry, because they know they couldn't patent nature. So all the cures, are in nature, but we'll never hear about them because they can't be patented. So we get fed and force fed treatments so we can be lifelong customers to the drug dealers, the legal drug dealers, the pharmaceutical industry. So go to westcoastcam.com and do your own independent research about colloidal silver, ionic colloidal silver. There's some peer-reviewed published medical journal research that I got on my page regarding that, but take a look at it. Take a look at it and stock up once you see the value of it. I'm not a medical professional. I do not make medical claims. So I'm an independent researcher. This is just something I use. You could use it for your plants. You could use it to clean your countertops. You know what I'm saying? I'm not suggesting no kind of medical cures or healings or treatments, none of that. But I'm suggesting you do the research that I did and come up with your own conclusions, because we're going into flu season, cold and flu season. We're going back into booster season that they're going to be promoting because of the complications of the season, especially when it's warfare, especially it's port strikes. especially when, the sun gets further and further away and we falling into depression and we falling into other mental and physical issues. Learn how to boost your immune system. Learn what to use, what to do, what to think, what to stay away from, what information to stay away from, to boost your immune system, because your immune system is directly affected by how we think and how we feel. So it's all connected. Yeah. They're absolutely going to retaliate. They allowed what they did on October 7th of last year to justify the war that they had planned to happen before the election, the U.S. election. They are planetary. These are military strategists. These are military scientists. War is a science. War is not what ninjas do. We just emotionally react, get mad, outraged, and want to go try to shoot some or go stick some. That's not war. That's childish feuding madness. War is this. War is what these people is doing. They plan strategic little things to incite, to provoke. They provoke because they trying to look a certain kind of way in the eyes of the world. So they control the media. So they not going to turn on the camera or the microphone when they do, they provoke. When they go do their initial aggression dirt against another people, then they turn on the camera and the microphone when they know that people is about to respond to what they just did that they didn't advertise. So now they say, Iran attacked such and such. That's just like basketball. You know what I'm saying? You got some referees that's paid off. You know what I'm saying? They don't see Kobe throwing an elbow. They don't see LeBron throwing an elbow. But after LeBron throw the elbow, he yell and the ref turn around and see, LeBron flop. Now the dude that did LeBron gets the tech. He gets threw out the game. So that's the same. Whoever controls the media and controls what we see and can control the narrative can make themselves look like the victim. Ain't that what's been going on? Ain't it a whole people that got a separate state and territory called Israel that have been, playing that victim card for the last 76 years in our name, in the name of the actual 400-year descendants of slavery and affliction and bondage in a strange land that's not their own? Germany was not the strange land. Germany was where you was from. You're from Germany. You're from Europe. You wasn't captive in a strange land for 400 years, afflicted for 400 years. Hitler then only did that to you for 4 years. Hitler only did that to them for 4 years, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 years, something like that, right? 4 years, not 400. But you claiming victim and you claiming that this is the fulfillment of the Bible prophecy. No, you know who fulfills it. That's why you're invoking and involving us. That's why this woman that's running for president as a black woman has a husband that she's hiding his last name from us. She doesn't want to remind us that her last name is Imhoff. Her husband is one of these dudes, right? Her husband is Imhoff. Her name is Kamala Imhoff. So vote Imhoff. You know what I'm saying? That don't sound right. That don't sound too blackety black, ski wee, AKA-ish. Vote Imhoff. Vote for Imhoff. If you don't vote for Imhoff, you're not black. You're not a sister. Girl, we out in these streets. Vice President Imhoff. Vice President Imhoff, girl, that don't sound right, huh? Not saying Trump is no better. I'm not saying vote for any of them, but I'm just checking you on what you being deceived in. You're being deceived in. You're believing in with your full emotional body and soul. You believing in Kamala Imhoff. That's what you're doing. But if I'm lying, I'm flying. Hit the like button. If y'all don't mind, hit the like button. I have to say that. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. They're gonna allow me to continue to be on this page. Shouts out Big Steel, Digital Soapbox Network, Digital Soapbox Media. Subscribe to Digital Soapbox Media. Shouts out Glasses Malone. Shouts out MC8. Shouts out Doggy Diamond. The Digital Soapbox Network family. West Coast Cam. Also follow me on West Coast Cam on my personal channel. But yeah, man, they got us focused on the dealer, focusing on Diddy. They're not focusing on Bibi Netanyahu. Don't focus on the immigration crisis with these 13,000 bodies, convicted body men that's floating around among us like ghosts, like sleeper cells, just waiting to do what they do. And the 15,000 SA convicted SA Sam's Club that's waiting to do what they do to our girls and our women. Yeah, don't focus on them. Focus on that one billionaire black dude that we can identify, that we can all trash, we can all bash, we can all pick up our stones and stone him from our glass houses. Right? Man, so if y'all don't, it's 111. Let me get off of here, man. If y'all don't mind, the Cash App is up. I'm not gonna get sponsored. Don't know how long I'll be on here, but hit the Cash App, man. If y'all so inclined, if the Lord puts it on your heart. If not, my pay is this. Y'all paying attention. So ain't no better payment than y'all just paying attention to your brother. If I'm saying anything that resonates or that's of any value, then that's the blessing. We here for guidance. We here for quality companionship, quality information. I'm not going to sell you out. I'm not a punk. My track record in history has not ever been a punk or going after a soft target. It's always been the same against the real enemy until my people woke up to the real enemy and realized, okay, Cam and them, Farrakhan and them been telling the truth the whole time. You see people waking up now like Candace Owens. You seen Ye, Kyrie, Nick Cannon. You see all these people. They still have certain positions and certain deals with Satan that they can't open their mouth like I do, or like Farrakhan do. But salute Candace Owens because she been on it. So anybody, every time I get on here, anybody that claims that Candace Owens is a sellout, you better not be voting for Kamala Imhoff. You please don't tell me you voting for Kamala Imhoff, because Candace Owens is not running for no office to rule you. Kamala Imhoff is, right? So I dare you. I'll open up the lines for a few minutes. If you say that Candace Owens is a sellout, and we shouldn't listen to her because what? Because she says what? She said what against George Floyd, or she said what against Black Lives Matter? But you voting for Kamala Imhoff? Here, get on this link right here. Get on here with me live, and I'll spend this last 4 or 5 minutes entertaining you. There's the link. Digital Soapbox Network, StreamYard.com. If you think and you believe or you feel and you have expressed that Candace Owens is a sellout, but you intend and you think that we are supposed to vote for Kamala Imhoff, I dare you to get on the live with me. I dare you to hit that StreamYard link and publicly tell me that. I got 2 or 3 questions to ask you, but I dare you just to even show up and make that argument. Because Kamala Harris is running for president to rule you and me and all of us for 4 years as the wife and subordinate to Doug Emhoff and to whoever the war chiefs of staff or whatever that she's going to have to listen to. as opposed to Candace Owens, who's not running for none of that. She's running for journalist of the year or somewhere of the decade. You know what I'm saying? Because she, I guess, gets a kick or satisfaction out of exposing the real Satans now that she used to work for. And she said that out of her own mouth, that she used to be the main magician, main tool soldier for the Zionists, but something happened to her personally that made her an activist against that. So Malcolm X used to be a pimp, right? What turned him? How long did it take for you to start looking at Malcolm X as your number one black leader? How long did it take? What was the process of how many years did it take for him to go from Detroit Red pimp and drug whatever, and they say some rainbow stuff, I don't know, but went from that to become the leader that you always mention as the greatest leader? How many years transition did that take? How many years transition are you going to give Candace Owens if she's accurate, if she used to be really that, and now she's fighting the enemy that you scared to talk about? She's exposing who you scared to expose. If you voting for Imhoff, get on here with me. Let me know. Let me know. I'm not voting for none of them. I don't believe in none of them. I don't vote. Not for no presidential. I do maybe local elections or something, but I don't believe in that. Why do you? Why are you forcing that down my throat? Why are y'all getting so emotional because we won't participate in the fairy tale, fantasy, American nightmare, BS dream that you want to still be plugged into? You want to say this is the problem. This is why we can't get nowhere, because we need to support this black woman, Kamala Imhoff. You know, I might have supported her if, before she became Imhoff. I don't know. I might have thought that, maybe she turned over a new leaf. But she just recently became Kamala Imhoff. Candace Owens was already Candace Owens, whoever, her husband is, and got 3 children with him already. She was already that. Now she's becoming this. You know what I'm saying? Harris just became Imhoff by choice. Her body, her choice. Right? And like I said, she's not running for office. She's just running to give us information. She's running to the internet to give us information. She's running to expose the people that we are hypnotized by. What's wrong with that? If she lying, let her be a liar. But ain't nobody been able to say she was a liar. You just don't like it. Just like yeah, I mean it's more so Farrakhan. You've never been able to, call him a liar. You just don't like the truth to such a degree that you rather rebel. I'd rather go to war against Farrakhan than to go to war against the wickedness and weakness of myself that he's exposing. So here's what it is. But let me know what y'all think, man. Ain't nobody hopping on this live with me. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll be back, God willing, a little later on. This is the campaign trail. Digital Soapbox Network. Subscribe to Digital Soapbox. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification, and subscribe to West Coast Cam, to my YouTube channel, West Coast Cam. All right, I'll be back in a few. Peace, y'all.